Now we are live. Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you, my friend?
A little tired, but I'm ready to roll. Had a little brain freeze, brain fart, whatever you want to call it, trying to get on Zoom. I forgot I got to type in the meeting code first before the password. So I was panicking that there was something wrong with the computer, but there wasn't. I just forgot that I had to type the code in first before the password.
All
That's
right,
why the
so
password.
we're gonna do a little hour show.
But I had my milk. I had my glass of
Good,
chocolate
you
milk.
got your milk. I got my water.
I had it, so that should get me ready.
I gotta say, what an exciting day of college football yesterday. I know you want to get into. Do you want to get into the Le'Veon Bell stuff real quick?
We'll get into college first, and then we could just
All
touch
right.
up on, in case there's somebody out there who doesn't know what's going on this week in the NFL.
Okay.
Run through
Um.
the college games real quick.
Right.
There were some good ones.
Right out of the gate. I mean, listen. Do we even talk about this? Number one, Clemson, 73-7. I mean, if anybody wants to argue this with me right now and say that they're going to keep, besides Rodgers, Wilson, and Mahomes, that they're going to keep their quarterback over this guy, it's just absolutely nuts. He was like perfect yesterday. It's crazy,
Now, let
Kenny.
me let me ask you a fair question. Well, yeah, well, like you were saying, that 73-7. You can't take nothing away from the guy. He's phenomenal. Okay. Georgia Tech, when they beat Florida State, and the first 2 weeks was like, wow, this is a sleeper team in the ACC.
Never had a shot yesterday.
They didn't play I want to say they didn't play like a Vanderbilt equivalent of Vanderbilt in the SEC. Georgia Tech is
Yeah,
okay, an
a
okay,
decent team.
and to play a conference game and beat somebody that bad. But the question I got for you is, would you be a little Denver? Not necessarily. Like if you had the chance of Trevor Lawrence, I know you want Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Do you feel if this is realistic now, New York, because the Giants and Jets are both winless, do you feel in a big market team he may not fold under pressure, but do you think the media can get to him
No,
a little?
no, not
Do you
him.
think he's that composed?
Yeah. Again, he's
I
he's
don't know that about him.
the only thing. Again, well, let me ask you something. How many games has he played? I mean, look what he's played since he's a freshman. Two national title games, playoff game. Like ACC
New York
championship
media though
games.
is a different ball game.
No, it is, but I don't know. I think he's
For his sake, I hope the Jets either don't draft him or miraculously don't get the first pick.
there. There's no way, and there's just
Because the
no.
Jets would be one team to ruin him.
There's no way in the world you cannot draft this guy. I was talking to Jen about
Well,
this
no,
yesterday.
what I'm saying though is I hope like a team like Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I sure hope.
but
I
Kenny,
sure hope Washington don't get him because I don't want him in my division.
right? You don't want me in your division. See, Kenny, we were talking about this yesterday, where it was. I know you were talking and saying, well, look at the draft capital. I just this is a year where I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. Like if somebody said to me, "I'll give you 8 number one picks," I don't want it. Like this guy has the potential to be, when they say Elway, Manning, Andrew Luck, and him is the next guy. Again, like I said, would you take 6 first-round picks from Mahomes right now if you were the Chiefs? No. And I'm sorry, this guy is legit the best prospect to come out in years. And I wouldn't give up anything for him. So if I'm the Jets, and I'm going to be honest, I don't even care. Like, listen, you want to give me a second-round pick for Sam Darnold? I really don't even. I don't care. I mean, I don't. I'm going to try to get him a 1, but there's no. I mean, he's not. Sam Darnold is not even 1/10 of what this kid could be. This kid's that good, and
You're right.
I'll bang the table with it. Any team besides Mahomes, Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence. Any team. I don't care. Josh Allen. No, I'm sorry. You're going to give me Josh Allen 4 years of $30 million, or I could take 4 years with a fifth-year option of Trevor Lawrence at, say, $10 million. I mean, it's crazy. Trevor Lawrence is better than, he's going to be 10 times better than Josh Allen. Baker Mayfield, Drew Lock, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Stafford, Garoppolo, all those guys. Nobody's even close. It's not. That's my opinion. What's yours?
I would be nervous if I were. I'd be nervous if I was Trevor Lawrence and I was going to the Jets.
Why?
Who has Sam Darnold had to throw the ball in the last 4 years? Who's been his best receiver?
Jets?
Yeah. You should know right off the top of your head if it's somebody, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But we don't. He's not there. I know they drafted Denzel Mims, but that didn't work out.
Okay,
He's hurt.
but here's my point. Okay, and here's what I'm going to argue again. Who's better, Sam Darnold or Trevor Lawrence? If they both were in the draft this year, who would you take?
I would take Trevor Lawrence.
Then you got to draft Trevor Lawrence. And don't worry about anything else. See, that's where I keep going back when people say, you can't take a quarterback because I have a quarterback. Why? Arizona did it, and nobody's saying, remember how many people were like, you just drafted Rosen, you can't take a quarterback at 1? Why? Kyler Murray's better. So you know what? They took him. We got him. Okay, who cares? You screwed up that draft pick with Rosen, but you still got Kyler Murray out of the deal. So it all worked out.
I agree, but I think the media can be the one. This could be the one media that get him. If he has a bad game with the Jets and Adam Gase for some reason still coaching the team, because that's the one team that can ruin him. I hope they win a game.
But honestly, I don't think it's going to be Adam Gase. I really
hope they win a game or two, and I hope he goes to Jacksonville. That's all.
So let's continue this, though. So 73-7, total blowout. Last night, people saw why. I'm telling you, I watched this whole game. Nick Saban, I don't know if he's the best coach ever, but it's not even close right now. This guy yesterday, first off, positive test on, believe it was Wednesday. Okay, Thursday, Friday, comes back Saturday. I'm coaching this team. He wants to coach this team. Boom, he's there. So he's with this team that fired his team up. Halftime, 24-20, Georgia's down, okay? I'm sorry, Alabama's down 24-20, Kenny, right?
Yep.
Bama's down 24-20. They interview him at the half. Like, the girl interviews him. What's going on with your defense? He goes, Georgia's putting number 4, their running back. He goes, they're putting number 4 in space, and we can't defend it. He goes, we'll get on the board, and we're going to take care of it. They didn't score the second half, Georgia. Shut that down. They didn't score. And listen, Alabama's hands down now the second best team in the country. And those right now, those are 2 teams locked into that college football playoff. Alabama and Clemson.
I might make them number 1, but you can't flip-flop 1, 2. There's really no difference.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, listen, if you do that and Clemson goes to 2, what are they going to score? How about this week? Next week, Clemson is home against Syracuse, who got beat up bad versus Liberty. What are they going to do to Liberty?
Destroy them.
Oh, my God. Okay, but yesterday showed a lot of frauds. Fraud number 1, the North Carolina Tar Heels.
I think we were just waiting for that to happen. I think it happened a little later than we thought it would happen.
You cannot. Now, I'm sorry. I don't care what they do. They are eliminated. You do not lose to Florida State.
No.
Georgia Tech beat Florida State. And they went over on a Saturday night primetime and got beat. They were dropping balls on the last drive. They are eliminated from the playoff. Eliminated. Do you agree with me or you don't agree with me on that?
100% agree.
My next team is my team, the bigger frauds, the Auburn Tigers. They got beat at South Carolina. And I will say this. Gus Malzahn has to go. He has to go.
It's time.
It's time. It's time. He gave us a lot of good thrills, got to a national championship game, got to another two SEC championship games, beat Alabama 3 times. That's all good and dandy, but you cannot lose to South Carolina.
No. But that South Carolina team is known to pull off the upset.
No way.
Last year they beat Georgia. And then, they got Auburn this year.
You can't do it though. You can't
It
do
was
that.
a sleeper team of ours. I mean, I know what you're saying. You can't lose that game, but South Carolina's no pushover.
No, they're not a pushover, but you can't lose that game. Another one. Notre Dame, 12-7 over 1-3 Louisville. Now Louisville's not a bad 1-3 team, but 12 points at home against that defense.
Right. Now listen to Brian Kelly. I agree with you. Brian Kelly can't come on after an interview and say we did so many things well. The score may not be an instant classic, but I'm so proud of this team.
Kenny, Louisville gave up this
Watch the
year.
same game as I did, Brian Kelly.
Kenny, listen to this. Louisville gave up 21 to Western Kentucky, 47 to Miami, 23 to Pitt, 46 to Georgia Tech, and 12 points to Notre Dame.
And Brian Kelly's going to come on and say it's because of everybody giving us their best. Well, isn't that every week, Brian Kelly? Everybody puts in their A effort when you're, so you're saying you don't have to put in an A effort to beat some of these teams, is what you're saying. They are going to be my next fraud, and they will get upset before they play Clemson.
It might be next week because they're going to Pitt.
They're going to lose that game.
If Pitt's quarterback's there, this is their schedule, Kenny. They're at Pitt, at Georgia Tech, home versus Clemson, at Boston College, at North Carolina, home versus Syracuse, at Wake.
They're going to lose against Pitt if the quarterback is there for Pitt.
If the quarterback's there.
Yep.
Okay.
Calling that right now.
I'm with you on that.
I did not like what I saw out of Notre Dame. Yeah, they won the game. You win the game. It shows in the all that matters is shows in the standings. I agree with that. But Brian Kelly can't come on in the post-game interview saying his team did excellent. They did everything well. Did he watch the offense?
Let me ask you this question, getting back to the Alabama-Georgia, because Gus Malzahn, again, time to go. Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee. Tennessee got waxed by Kentucky, 34-7 at home.
Another team that just lasted longer than I thought this year before they lost their game. They always disappoint.
Now, let me ask you this. If you can't beat out, first off, I'm going to give you the rest of the schedule, but this year, Georgia goes to Kentucky. They play Florida in that big, match every year, at Missouri, Mississippi State, at South Carolina, at Vanderbilt. If they don't beat Florida and don't get to the SEC championship, or two, if they get to the SEC championship, rematch Alabama and don't beat Alabama again, is he on the hot seat a little, Kirby?
You should be.
Because it's nice going 10-2 and 10-2 and all that, but isn't the object to win the national championship?
Yeah.
And he hasn't done it. So
yeah, it's time you got to get there.
What else did I want to say? Florida State, A&M.
Miami bounced back.
Oh yeah, Miami bounced back. Yep.
But they did go up against a Pitt team that had didn't have their starting quarterback.
Right.
A lot of games were canceled. BYU remains undefeated, but
yes.
They probably beat the best team on their schedule.
I'm gonna say this though, Kenny. I'm gonna be honest. That quarterback is good. This is crazy. Okay, and you might fall off your seat when I say this to you. But they compared Wilson to it. They said he's got a little Patrick Mahomes in him. Now, what do you think about that?
They said a little. As long as they didn't say he's got all Pat Mahomes.
And they're saying he's going to be a hot commodity come draft time. His stock has gone way up.
I give the BYU Cougars credit. They went out and beat a decent Houston team. The old West Virginia coaching over there, Dana Holgerson, I believe, in Houston.
Right.
They went out and handled them pretty easily. That, in my opinion, is the hardest team on their schedule.
Oh, it is. It definitely
And
is.
you know what? Thank goodness the Big Ten and Pac-12 are back because
But here's the thing.
I
Like,
don't believe a team that has a cupcake schedule as an independent have the right to get into the. And they're going to move up. They're going to be top 10 now this week.
and I'll tell you another fraud team, UCF. 9-point lead, 14-point lead. Their defense is pathetic. I don't want to hear them ever say to them about, oh, we should be in here. Every big game, you're giving up 49 and 50 points. I don't care if they score 60. Get a friggin' defense. How do you lose at Memphis? You're up 14, then you're up 9 with like 5 minutes left. It's like a joke. Seriously, but they're going to complain. We're not invited to the tournament. No, you're not. By the way, Mark saying, good morning, boys. Awesome win for Fairlawn, 26-14 over Wyckoff. They're 3-0. We got to get down there.
Reno Butler, coming down Thanksgiving week, I believe.
We got to get down there,
Maybe
Kenny.
we'll pop over there on that week. We'll pop over there and check them out.
We got to get down there. That's awesome, Mark. Mark was texting me yesterday. Not good, buddy. Auburn. It's not good. And I'm the first one to say it. Gus got to go.
What's Mark's thoughts about? Let's get into this real quick. I know we're gonna do this more on Thursday with our guy Carson when he comes on because he's Michigan State alumni. Yeah, Mark, I said Michigan State alumni. What's your early prediction on Michigan or Big Ten? Like who's going to win the Big Ten?
Michigan's got a huge game next week, Kenny.
My spoiler is Ohio State will not. We'll do our Big Ten predictions on Thursday. Ohio State will not win the Big Ten this year. You know who it's going to be?
Who?
The other team ranked very high at the beginning of the year. I'm high on Penn State this year.
Okay.
I like that. I like what that coach is doing.
Oh, he's a good coach. He turned that program around. He's a very good coach, frankly.
That's a team that I think can overcome. Like they got that toughness about them. A team that can overcome just like Penn State can overcome like this whole global pandemic that we're having and behave and be disciplined throughout this whole thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like it seems like a team that would be disciplined, stay in a bubble, do whatever the coach says to stay healthy, and go win a national title.
Well, like I said, Mark's Michigan right out of the gate. They're coming. They're at Minnesota Saturday night. That's going to be a great opening game.
I think Michigan might be okay there. They might catch a Minnesota team that might be a little overrated. Minnesota did lose quite a few kids last year.
Yep, Mark's saying a big game for Minnesota. For Michigan, they play Minnesota. Big game Saturday night.
Minnesota. I on teams like that, I brought this up a couple weeks ago. Back when we were in high school, I rode Northwestern that one year when we were out of high school, and I was betting Northwestern every week. They went to the Rose Bowl that year. They maybe had one other good year in the last 20 years. Minnesota can be that kind of team. They caught people by surprise last year. Now there's no catching people by surprise. Everybody's saying Michigan's down. We'll get into that game when we do our picks, but Michigan's going to win that game.
Just a real quick couple things for next week. Just matchups, couple decent matchups, and then we'll get into the NFL. But just looking ahead, obviously the Big Ten is back. We just talked about that. The big SEC game next week is Alabama at Tennessee. Listen, I think they're going to put it on Tennessee. I really do.
Tennessee's done. I think they had their hot little stretch there.
Notre Dame at Pitt next week is a good game.
I hope the quarterback plays for Pitt because that would be my upset of the week.
Here's the game of the week, in my opinion, and it's from the Fraud Conference. But number 20 Iowa State goes to number 7 Oklahoma State. That's probably going to be for the conference championship. I'm still high on Iowa State.
Oklahoma State might be one of those teams that gets to run the Big 12 and control their destiny here.
Yeah, and their destiny is going to go and run and play Alabama and get waxed.
You know what? They're going to have to go play Clemson or Alabama in the first round, and they're going to get by 40.
And then another game, 9 o'clock next week.
Because you know what, Kurt, real quick? The committee messed up. This should have been the year of experiment and have 16 or 8 teams make the playoff. But instead, they're sticking with the 4, which I think was a big mistake.
And then 9 o'clock. Cincinnati undefeated, SMU undefeated. Mark is saying Tennessee is a joke, all hype. I agree with Mark. They are. That is.
No,
You know.
they're the joke of the SEC.
Yeah.
They're frauds.
And you know what? Like, well, here's another thing, and this I'd love to get Mark's opinion on this. You know, we said Kirby Smart, and I was all for Jim Harbaugh, but you know what? He better start putting up or shut up too. I mean, he did not get paid there to lose 3 games and get killed by Ohio State every year. He didn't.
No.
I mean, they paid him to beat Ohio State, and he hasn't even come close. And you know what? Listen, they got to look at him too. Him, again, Kirby Smart, not that Kirby Smart, but again, you're paying Kirby Smart this salary okay, I'm going to go and get Alabama. You haven't beat them yet. So
Well, let me ask you this.
What
Let
do
me
we do?
ask you
Just
this.
continue the trend?
Because you and Mark are in New Jersey. I'm down here in Maryland. Is Michigan still getting the New Jersey kids? They were recruiting at Paramus Catholic for a little bit.
Well, they had, again, one of their guys, and I believe he's still there, one of their assistants was the coach at, he was the ex-Paramus Catholic coach. I believe he was on staff at Michigan, so it was like a little pipeline. He was getting some of the Jersey kids, but we're going to see now with Shiano. I mean, they got, what's his name, Rashard Gary. He was the number 1 recruit in the country.
I was going to say, Rutgers now with Shiano, with this whole COVID, you're going to see, in my opinion, a lot of these New Jersey kids staying close to New York, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's going to have to get the Michigan kids and the Wisconsin kids, so it's kind of harder up there to get the recruits.
Yep.
I think for the next year, maybe 2 years.
Mark is confirming he is still at Michigan.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I think Rutgers is going to get some of those recruits, or Penn State's going to get some of those New Jersey kids, and and it's just going to be like that for a couple of years. Because if I was a parent, I wouldn't want my kid going to Florida school. I'm living here in Maryland. No, you're going to go to Maryland offer you a scholarship. You're going to go to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to get a lot of parents the same way. Rutgers is a good academic school. You're going to go to Rutgers.
Yep.
Gianno's turned that program around before. He's going to turn it around again.
So, all right. So let's go to NFL real quick, Kenny. Right? You want to bounce around?
NFL?
Yeah, we'll do NFL. Let's go before I get to our breaking news this week. What are your quick thoughts? Le'Veon Bell to Kansas City Chiefs. I know our guy Jim has to be elated. The rich get richer.
That's what it is. It's like giving a millionaire, giving a billionaire $1 million. They just got richer. It's like a billionaire hitting the lottery.
Yeah.
Do they need it? No. So do the Chiefs need Bell? No. But they got him.
Yep.
And you know what? My opinion, I think you're going to see the old Le'Veon Bell.
And think about it. Why am I going to
take with the Jets is Adam Gase. We're talking about the Chiefs now. It wasn't Le'Veon Bell. It wasn't Jamal Adams. He has in 1 year, Adam Gase destroyed the Jets.
Oh, absolutely. And it's amazing. It's amazing how
it's like the Black Plague with this Adam Gase. I couldn't name 5 guys on the Jets without going on the computer.
No, and here's the thing that's
Crowder
crazy,
and
though.
Darnold and Becton.
How is he making decisions? Like, if he's making decisions, then he better be there next year. Because if he's not, why is he having any input? Not for nothing. You're the one, you guys signed Le'Veon Bell, right? You never used them okay, well, I would never, he just never, the guy, again, like you're saying, what is he doing? And again, he was the OC for Denver, but was he the OC? Was Peyton the OC? I know Peyton endorsed him and endorses him for jobs, but, he's been an absolute disaster in Miami, worse with the Jets.
Now, getting back to Bell, you put him on an offense now with Mahomes, and he's not the number 1 option. He's not the number 2 option. He's not the number 3 option.
No, think about this, Kenny.
Option in that offense.
What did he do? What did he do awesome in Pittsburgh? Catch balls, right? Catch passes, right? They're
Yep.
saying, and then they line him up. They're saying Kansas City's gonna like line him up like as a wideout, and like maybe even have Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. He's like another wideout. Mark saying the Giants should get their first win against the Redskins.
I hope so. I hope so, because if we don't, Mark, I don't think we're tanking for Trevor. I think it's going to be trading that pick to somebody, and then me and you regret say for years, oh, we gave him to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville goes to two Super Bowls in the next 5 years because of this guy. So
Listen,
I hope we get some wins, and I hope we have you know we've been competitive. I don't know how Mark's thoughts are in the Giants, but we've been competitive.
Kenny, listen, I'm gonna help you and Mark out, okay? If the Giants get the number one pick, I will drive down to Maryland to pick you up. I will drive to Fair Lawn to pick Mark up, and then I'll drive to East Rutherford and pick up Daniel Jones, and we'll ship him wherever he wants to go. Because no debate, get Trevor Lawrence. If I don't think you guys are gonna have a shot with that because I think you guys are better and you guys are gonna get wins.
I think we're going to start getting a couple wins.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. But if
We're
you
close.
did, get him out of there for Trevor Lawrence.
I agree. Now we might be able in the running for this Jamar Chase.
Okay,
That's
I like that. I like that.
But the Bell thing though, real quick to finish the Bell thing. How can you not like it? I mean, and if Clyde's Edward Alaire got hurt or missed a game or two, you got the perfect insurance policy for.
Oh
for
yeah. Yep. All right.
Now,
So
how do the rich keep getting richer? Like, there's nobody in the NFL that wanted him. That to me is very surprising.
it is.
You know,
Well, they said it was 4 teams. I want to say it was Dolphins, Patriots, and Bears, along with the Chiefs. So those were the 4 teams he was picking from.
well, he's a smart guy. He picked who he thought he was going to the Super Bowl.
So you got to love that.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd pick the Chiefs too if I was a running back.
I would too. All right, so let's do this. Let's start with the games. All right, we're gonna have about a half hour left. Let's bang through these games. You ready?
Yeah, let's bang through a little news on each game. We could do a little analysis.
All right, we got opening game. We got the Houston Texans got their first win last week. Are going against the 4-0, very impressive Tuesday night winners over Buffalo, the Tennessee Titans. What are your thoughts? Who do you like, Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Texans came out. I mean, for years we've been saying Bill O'Brien's the problem in Houston. Bill O'Brien's the problem in Houston. I mean, he's not worse than Adam Gase, but he's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they made him the general manager, making terrible moves, getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, that to me was mind-boggling. They finally parted ways with him, and what did Romeo Crennel do? They won last week. Tennessee Titans 4-0. They haven't been practicing. They had the COVID scare. Buffalo's going to destroy them. Tennessee goes and destroys Buffalo on national TV. All signs are pointing towards the Titans with this undefeated record. I was leaning towards the Titans, but I'm going to go with a surprising upset, and the Texans get their first victory, and people start talking about Romeo Crennel as being like next year's head coach at that age.
Okay.
The talk is going to start. He's going to win today.
All right. I'm going against you. I think Tennessee is I think Tennessee showed a lot Tuesday night by just manhandling Buffalo.
Well, I will say this, not to cut you off. Tennessee had that long break and now a quick turnaround. That could be tough on a team.
Yeah, it can, but I'm listen, Tannehill, you know what? I'm a believer in Tannehill. I am. It's just that's his team. This is his team, and you have to look back. We're talking about Gase. Did Gase ruin that kid, coming in? And he found his home. They're legit, they're a legit team now. They run the ball. I don't know if Texans are going to be able to stop that running game, play action with Tannehill. So Neely was on the other night. I'm going to go. Neely's going to go 5-0 tonight.
Okay.
Okay, Neely's going to go
I think they
five
get
and
their
zero.
first, I think they get their first loss.
Okay. Give me a game you want to go to. Secondly, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Let's go Bears Panthers.
Bears Panthers. All right, what do you got on Bears Panthers? You could start that off.
Surprise! Bears are going to Carolina. You got Chicago, a very surprising 4-1. But is it a surprise now? I mean, they got the quarterback in there. In my opinion, I think it's the better quarterback. I think that he should have been the starting quarterback from week one, Nick Foles. And yeah, they played a lot of tight games, but I could see this team getting better through the weeks. But they're playing a Carolina team that has sold me.
Okay.
Last 3 weeks, they went and beat 3 decent teams. And without their number one player, arguably the number one offensive player in football, number one running back in football, Christian McCaffrey. They've done it without him. It's a fun team to watch. Teddy Bridgewater looks great. Young defense, very young defense. They drafted all defense. Remember in the draft, they drafted all defense.
Yep.
Right? I'm going to stay with the hot hand at home. I'm going to go with the Panthers winning their 4th in a row.
Okay. I am on board with you, Mr. Kirkpatrick. I do like the Bears with Foles better than Trubisky. But, I don't know if this Bears defense is the old Bears defense of what surprised me was 2 weeks ago when they were home and they played the Colts and they just did nothing, like absolutely nothing. And that kind of scared me a little bit because I'm not super high on the Colts. Turnover prone with Rivers. And I believe that, they had, I think they finished with 11, but they scored it with the last minute in the game. So I agree. Tennessee's exciting. I was wrong about Matt Rule right now. Bridgewater does look good. Not that they're not saying they don't miss McCaffrey. Everybody would, but Mike Davis has stepped up. Robbie Anderson, again, when you mention and say, who's Sam Darnold have? I mean, don't you think the Jets would appreciate having Robbie Anderson now? So,
Yeah.
I am going to go
Another
with you.
G's mistake.
I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to take Carolina. So we're both on the Carolina bandwagon.
Okay.
Next game, let me get one up because what's nice is I got these logos coming up. I'm going to go Atlanta at Minnesota. Okay, Atlanta fired the coach, fired the GM. So I think it's Raheem Moore now is taking over. Raheem Morris. I'm not sure what I believe he was one of the defensive assistants there. They're 0, what are they? 0-5, 1-4 Minnesota. Very disappointing Minnesota. Dalvin Cook is out. Hurts my fantasy. I'll start this one up though. I cannot trust Atlanta. I'm sorry, I can't. The Vikings with Gary Kubiak's system. Listen, one of the most disappointing teams. Again, Ross has to come on. He's got to talk to us. Biggest Viking fan I know. The Kirk Cousin thing is just backfired for this team. Paying him money he should not have never gotten. Hurt them. I'm still going to take the Vikings. Listen, I wouldn't be shocked if they lost the game, but I have no faith in Atlanta. How's Atlanta going to stop a running game? So I'm going to go Minnesota.
I'm going to go Atlanta. Why? I don't know. Maybe a new coach.
Well, you're not confident. You're not confident. You're not confident in either one. Like that makes sense.
Romeo Crennel did it with Houston. Maybe this Raheem Morris will do it with the Falcons. They'll play for him. I'll tell you what. Right now, they don't win this week. They don't have the GM there, and they don't have Dan Quinn there. It's a new regime coming in. Do you move on from Matt Ryan? Do you move on from Julio Jones? You trade Todd Gurley, and you guys tank for Trevor Lawrence with a number one receiver in Calvin Ridley there for Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
That's a team that Trevor Lawrence could do very well with. And an aging Matt Ryan, where the next game we'll get into, Cowboys would benefit from going to a trade with the Cowboys, for example.
No, it's a
So
good. That's a good call. That's a real good call.
Falcons don't win today, they might be breaking up that team. But I'm going to go with the Falcons
Okay.
in a tight.
Let's get into. Let's get right to your boys. All right, your boys, Mark's boys. You could start it off. The Washington football team, 1-4 against the 0-5 New York Giants. What do you got? It's your team, Kenny. You got the floor.
I think the Giants win big. I think they win handily. What I mean by big is more in the touchdown, maybe 10 points.
Okay.
Giants have been playing teams close. Week 1, Pittsburgh. Week Bears were close. They slept against the 49ers. They went out to LA and they just lost to Dallas. So they've been playing everybody tight. Now they're getting on paper, and not only on paper, on the field, the weakest team they've played, and a team that has not looked good since week 1 beating Philadelphia.
Yep, and I agree with you. And this is why I'm going to take the Giants too.
This is my best bet of the week, by the way.
Okay. It's a smart one because just like you said, it's a team that's just very soon to break out. When I mean break out with a win, like the Pittsburgh game, the Chicago game, like the Niner game. Yeah, but you throw that away. It happens. But last week you should have beat Dallas. Listen,
and then we had the Rams on the whole.
And you had the Rams, right? I forgot about that game in LA. And I agree with you. I like the Giants.
It's a team that is not folded, saying, "Oh, we're 0-3, we're 0-4, now we're 0-5." They're not going to give up on Joe Judge.
Right.
The players are playing hard for him, and it'll show today with a nice, easy. I want to say easy victory. There's going to be no easy victories with the Giants, but they'll have a nice, comfortable 10-point win today.
I will say this: I was wrong. I like Joe Judge.
I said earlier this year, I said, give him a chance. I said,
we
don't know anything about him. He's coming from Bill Belichick, Nick Saban's school. He's getting tutored by two of the best.
Building a nice little defense, too, Kenny. Statistically rated defense.
Was number 10 ranked defense overall, which I love. The defense is playing good.
Yep.
Dallas has that bread and butter play that got us last week, unfortunately, or we would have won that game.
Okay.
Nobody has stopped Dallas's offense. So am I mad about that? No.
Yep. No, I like it. I agree. I think he's outperforming right now, like his expectation. I think Joe Judge is. I don't even care if you guys win 3 games. He definitely earns a second year, without a doubt, in my opinion.
Yes.
All right, let's get to my boys.
He's earned my respect. I think we'll get a few wins for him this year, and the team's playing hard.
Let's get to my boys now. After 17-day layoff, we're finally back in action. Drew Lock is back. Philip Lindsay's back. Melvin Gordon is not. Noah Fant is not. But we got Drew Lock back. Tough game. Now we're going to Foxborough. Cam hasn't played in a while. He's healthy. Gilmore's back. The Belichick factor. What are your thoughts on this game?
This has got a game that's saying 35-10 Patriots all over it. This is where, if you're a gambling man, and I mean you're a gambling man, call me crazy because I know we got our little side wager, but this is the game that the Broncos pull off the upset of all upsets. You hit it on the button. You had 17 days off. But you guys are practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You guys are getting healthy. Drew Lock, you got your quarterback back. You got your other guys all resting that are hurt. They're all back. Lindsay, you said Philip Lindsay's back.
Yep.
Cam Newton's been out with COVID for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
No practice. Isolated. They shut the facilities down. So there was a little scare there. The Denver Broncos are going to jump out on the Patriots and catch them sleeping early. They're going to win. Broncos are going to win like a 21-17 to 21-20 type of ball game.
Okay.
And the Broncos are gonna get either a special teams or a defensive touchdown
Okay.
in this game.
I
That's my
listen.
bold prediction. That's my
Music,
bold prediction.
music to my ears. And you know what? If this game was played 2 weeks ago, I would have said it's gonna get ugly with Brett Rippon. He did a nice job. He's a little backup. Drew Lock is back. Philip Lindsay's back. You know what? This team plays hard for Fangio, man. You know they do, and Fangio is gonna keep. The thing is, Fangio will keep this team in the game defensively, and I think Drew Lock's gonna make a play. I think Judy is gonna have a nice game. Tim Patrick. Again, if I had I would be happier. But I think Lindsey they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to run the ball. And I'm with you, Kenny. I'm taking Denver in an upset today. I am.
I can see Cam making an early mistake, defensive touchdown.
I'm
texting
confident.
I'll be texting you.
And I'll tell you this: if that happens,
Time's that game?
that's a 1:00 game.
I'll be texting you.
And the thing too, Kenny, is that game can turn a season around. I mean, Denver's just got a thread. When we look at our schedule, people go, "Oh my God!" But when you really think about it, they lost 16-14 to Tennessee, undefeated. Lost 26-21 to an undefeated Pittsburgh team without Drew Lock. Okay, and then they lost Tampa Bay 28-10. That game really wasn't close. They got 2 tough games next week. There's next 2. They got Patriots and Chiefs. Okay.
Gotta win one of those.
If they could split one of those 2, and you're 2-4, you got the Chargers, the Falcons, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Saints. Okay, at the Chiefs, at the Panthers, Buffalo, Chargers, Raiders.
Winnable games.
They're winnable games, and 1-5 might be a tough, a steep step, but if you can win one of these 2, and even if you can win today. And now you're home next week against the Chiefs in your building at 425. I'm telling you, crazy as it sounds, you change your season. You change your season because Buffalo's coming back to reality. The Raiders are the Raiders are the Raiders. The Raiders can beat anybody. The Raiders can get beat by anybody. But this division is the Colts. I mean, are you afraid of the Colts? The Colts aren't world beaters. So the Texans aren't, world beaters, so they got a shot. All right, let's move to the next one. Another 1:00 one. Cincinnati at the Colts, Kenny.
Real quick, I took the Bengals on Wednesday. I think the hockey chip was talking. But I'll stick with the Bengals. My reason is I think this offense – Colts defense is great. Burrow's been, showing some rookie jitters. He's not at the LSU of last year. He's, team getting 8 points. I'm going to take, if I was a betting man, I might take the points, but you got to go Colts here at home just to get the win.
Okay, so if I had to say for the win, we're just win.
You're going the Colts. Rivers has been playing good.
Okay.
Good enough. I think you're going to start seeing more of Jonathan Taylor pounding and running the ball again. I think that's the style that they need to go with. Hit him the ball 20, 25 times, get 70 to 100 yards, and ball control. And you keep the Bengals offense off the field and make them start chasing, you're going to beat them handily.
Okay, I agree. I'm going to go Baltimore. I'm going to go Indianapolis. Also, I think Jonathan Taylor, who I just traded in my fantasy league, but I did trade him for. I took a gamble. I went for McCaffrey, so I made it really. It was a good, fair deal, So the trade did take effect, so I do not have him today. So watch, he'll have a big game, but I do expect him to have a big game. Colts have a great offensive line against Cincinnati. I think he'll score. But like you said, I think they wear them down, and the Colts win a game that the Colts should win. Now, I got a question for you because you mentioned this before. You said we did a game already. You said you love this team, you love what they're doing, and you have a lot of confidence in them. Do you remember who they are? Because I
Did
want
we said them already, or we didn't
we
say them?
talked about this game, and you said you're very high on this.
Panthers.
The Panthers, right? Okay. Here's my question: Who's the offensive coordinator there?
Is it Rule?
No, it's Joe Brady from LSU.
Yes, yes.
Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jets. Do you hire Joe Brady as your head coach?
I try and bring Dabo Sweeney with him.
Okay, but if you can't, would you bring Dabo as your head? But Joe Brady has shown you in LSU he put an unstoppable offense. He's moving the friggin' ball pretty damn good in Carolina without C-Mac.
I think he's got to be in consideration.
He's got to be in consideration.
Now I'll tell you this. How about this one? Bengals go realistically 4-12, 3-13.
Oh yeah, bring him in automatically. Yeah,
You get rid of Zach Taylor and bring him in there.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You should, right? I
Yeah.
would.
Now, if you were Joe Brady and that you had the opportunity to go to the Bengals, work with Burrow and those guys, or go to the Jets and work with Trevor Lawrence, what would you do?
As crazy as this sounds, Kurt, they're really not much of a difference in the teams, but the Jets' history, and it's like a graveyard for coaches. I mean,
Kenny, I'm bringing that. That's going to be our interactive question Wednesday night.
I think I might go to Cincinnati because I know what I could. Joe Burrow's done it for me before, and Joe Burrow would be comfortable. But if anybody else, like if Trevor Lawrence went to the Jaguars, Joe Brady want to come to Jacksonville? Absolutely. I'm
Right.
there 100%. Anybody but the Jets.
That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll get to use that on Wednesday.
All right, next game: Philly at home against the Baltimore Ravens. Philly is 1-3-1 against the 4-1 Baltimore Ravens. What do you got?
Well, real quick on this game, Baltimore's seems like they're unstoppable against anybody but the Chiefs lately. I don't see that changing. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the Eagles. Zach Ertz has not played well. Carson Wentz hasn't done much. Sanders has had some down games. Give me the Ravens in a high-scoring big game.
Okay,
Big win for the Ravens, double digits.
I agree with you. I think Philly. I think Philly will score, like break a play here and there. Miles Sanders maybe break something, but I don't know how they're going to stop Baltimore's run game.
Philly was one of my overrated teams at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And sticking with it.
I agree, and I think, like you said, Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore is good, man. Baltimore. As far as Lamar goes, they go, but their running game, they're going to come out. They're going to try to run it right down Philly's throat. I think it works. Like I said, I think 10 to 14 point lead, 14-point win, something relatively.
When the Ravens are a big point spread, when they're take them when they're a big point spread because they seem to win by double digits all the time.
Well, it is their offense is so hard to stop. It's like when you get going, you get in 4 yards and 4 yards and 4 yards. Like they keep moving the chain, so it's like you're always in field goal range. And then you pop it, and then boom.
Yeah.
All right, Detroit, our guy Carson Claus. They go to Jacksonville today. Any thoughts on that game? Any interest on that game?
I'm interested a little bit.
1-3 versus 1-4. There's a report out this morning that if the Lions lose, Carson gets his wish and Patricia will be fired tomorrow.
Yeah, that was my bold prediction that the Jaguars are going to win today and Patricia gets fired on Monday.
There's reports out that will happen.
I think it is going to happen. I think the Jaguars are going to get victory number 2 today.
Okay.
I know no DJ Chark, but playing down in Jacksonville, I'm not sure what the weather is down there, but the Lions, it's going to be like a vacation for them traveling all the way down south.
Okay.
The grass, they're an indoor team. That natural grass slows teams down, and I can see Jacksonville pulling off a little upset here at home.
Okay. You know what? I was going up and down on this one too. Um, I'm gonna be honest. This is a tough game. I mean, it's probably gonna be an exciting game.
Yeah.
Uh, I think you know what though. I think they're gonna save his job. I do.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's gonna win. Again, Stafford, Galladay's back. They'll put up
Tell
points
you
on
what, though.
Jacksonville's defense.
Tell
And
you what, I was
yeah,
telling Carson this on the show. If they get by this Jacksonville game today, Carson's not going to get his wish because I think Detroit's got a nice little stretch of games that they can win and start getting some people in Detroit excited, but like a false excitement because like their next 3 or 4 games, I think, are very winnable. And we'll see.
okay,
We'll see.
we'll see. We got 10 minutes, Kenny, so let's get through these. The big game of the day, Green Bay at Tampa Bay, 425. I'll be watching that. Exciting. Rodgers, Brady. I think we're going to see points. I think Tampa Bay is going to try, to be honest with you. I think Tampa's going to run the ball on Green Bay because Green Bay has struggled against teams that run the ball, i.e. look at 49ers last year. So I think you're going to see the double tight, the little system of where, the Ronald Jones and the, what's his name, Vaughn from Vanderbilt, maybe even Fournette. I don't know if Fournette's healthy, but I'm still going to take Rodgers. I think it's going to be a close game, like a 27-20, 27-23. I think Rodgers pulls it out late, but it's going to be an exciting game to watch. So I'm going to go Green Bay.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay the same reason though. Very close. I think it's going to be the last. It's going to come down to final possession. Is Aaron Rodgers going to have the ball? Is Tom Brady going to have the ball? And it's all going to come down to that last possession. So I think you're going to see an exciting game won by the field goal in the last seconds.
So a Brady drive wins it.
I'll say Brady drives them enough to get about a 40 to 45-yard field goal, and they win like a 23-21 type game. A little lower score than people are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay did have an extra week to prepare for Tampa Bay, though. I will say that.
Okay. Then another game, 425, the surprising 2-3 Miami Dolphins against the team we're talking about, the New York Jets. Anything on this?
We're going to see what this kid Perrine has for the Jets. I think he's the next man up, right behind Gore. Bell out.
P. Ryan. Yeah, P. Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
He's a good little back from Florida.
Let's see what he's got. Miami has a lot of points, but until the Jets can cover a game, I got to go Miami big.
Yep. Same thing with me. I'm with you. The Miami surprised me last week. Not gonna be honest. They harassed Garoppolo in San Fran and put up points. I mean, I know that defense a little depleted in San Fran, but they put up, what was it, 37 or 40 points. And I don't know. I don't see how the Jets can compete in this one. I really don't. I think the Dolphins lay it on them.
Yep.
I think the Dolphins lay it on them. And I think that covers all our – oh, no, tonight's game, which is a good one.
No, you missed a couple.
Well, I got tomorrow night's games.
You got who's tonight?
Tonight is the Rams and the 49ers. So
let's do that one real quick, and then you missed a really good game. So we'll do the Rams 49ers.
Well, that's tomorrow's game, didn't I?
Nope, you missed one.
Today?
All right. Yeah, we'll go back to it.
Oh, I did miss it. Okay, all right. I know what you're talking about. You want to go to that one, or you want to go to Rams first?
We'll do the Rams 49ers.
All right, so we got Rams 49ers today.
Both teams a little surprising. One on the winning end and one on the losing end.
Yeah,
right?
you know what? And Beelan, our guy Beelan, is high on the Rams. And you know what? He sold me a little, but I want to see tonight. Tonight's the test because the Niners are banged up. The Niners got embarrassed against Miami last week. National television. I want the Rams to go in there, not keep it close. The Rams better win. I'm going to take the Rams, but I'm telling you now, if they don't win this game tonight, they are complete frauds. because national television against a not fully, nowhere near fully held San Fran, do your business, run the ball, play action, and beat the 49ers. If you don't, I'm telling you now, I don't want to hear them in the conversation. So I'm going to be honest, I'm a little reluctant because I don't trust them. But I'm going to take Bielen's word, and I'm going to take the Rams.
I'm gonna go with the 49ers. Well, I tell you why. You've coached before in football, all levels up to high school, right?
Yep.
Pee wee, junior level, freshman, varsity, high school. You lose a game that you are supposed to win. That's bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you get embarrassed
They did.
at home to a team you're supposed to win easily.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Let's just say it was. I bet
What are
you
you doing?
it couldn't be.
What are you and the coaching staff doing during the week with the team?
It couldn't be. It couldn't be. Well, you know what? We got back to that last week when we said, when we really said there was the same thing with the Alabama defense, right? Did you want to be in that Alabama defensive room this week after giving up 50-something points or whatever it was to Ole Miss last week? That changed right away.
Now, this guy Saleh is a good defensive coordinator. I think Goff is going to be running ragged today. 49ers win, and you will be calling the Rams frauds.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, this is my last shot. They're frauds if they lose this game tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
The 49ers bounce back and win.
And I don't want to hear Bielen saying, well, they're 4-2. No. Because tonight's a game you're going to have, when it counts, you're going to have to go to San Fran and beat a team like that. And San Fran's not even good this year.
49ers got a guy getting healthy. You know who that is? With all their injuries, they got a guy.
Deebo Samuel?
Yes. He's back. He's starting to work more. Watch out for Deebo Samuel in today's game.
Okay. And here's the game you want.
Because they're going to key on Kittle. They're going to key on Kittle. And that's going to leave Samuel open for the big play.
And here's the game you were talking about. Cleveland-Pittsburgh. I did forget this one. Our guy, Travis.
Pittsburgh. Their defense, I love defense. I know Cleveland has been hot. I know they've been hot since week 1. But Pittsburgh at home, Big Ben's looking great. They got Claypool after his 4 touchdowns. Let's see what he does today. You know, I got to see it to believe it some more. No Deontay Johnson today. Claypool might be the number 2 guy in that offense today.
I'm going to make this statement.
James Conner is set up for a huge game today.
I'm going to make this statement right now.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
Okay. I'm going Pittsburgh too, so I'll put my little face there. But I'm going to make a statement to you. The Pittsburgh Steelers right now. You know, I'm going to make this statement right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team that prevents Jim's Kansas City Chiefs from getting back to the Super Bowl. They'll blow by Baltimore. They'll blow by Tennessee. Colts will not. Colts maybe because they're going to run. But this team is going to play defense. They're going to harass Mahomes, go after him. They could lock up. They could play zone. They got Hayden. They got Fitzpatrick. They could do whatever they want.
You know what, Kurt? About what's different about this team that has a defense than the other teams that have good defenses? They got an offense too.
So, and you know what, Kenny?
If the Chiefs are up 10, Big Ben can come back from 10.
Right.
And the Pittsburgh can make those stops.
Go ahead. Here's the difference. And I remember this. I said it 3 years ago. I'll never forget. We were watching. Me and Hoops were by one of her cousins, and it was the same story with the. Here comes, Big Ben, and we talked about with Travis. Here's Big Ben and Bell and Brown and Juju. And their defense was pathetic. They were playing New England and Brady. They were playing zone. Bing, bing, right down the field. Now, no more zone. Man, go get them. And you know what? I'm telling you. They can beat. I'm telling you. They're the only team in the AFC in a playoff that could beat Kansas City.
And you're a betting man, right? I'm a betting man.
Mm-hmm.
I may be taking Pittsburgh for those Super Bowl odds right now.
Yeah, they're good.
Because right now they got the home field advantage over Kansas City.
And you know what else they got, Kenny? Kenny, here's the big thing, because you said it. Great defense. What is this team? What team does this remind you of?
San Fran last year.
No. Not San Fran. No way.
Defensively.
Look at me.
Seattle.
Who's on that wall?
Oh, Denver.
Yeah, but 2015. Why? Great defense and a Hall of Fame quarterback that's going to make enough plays, run the show, get you out of harms. Let me ask you something. In 2015, did you have faith that if Manning needed to make a play, would he make a play?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have faith in Big Ben if he needs to make a play?
Yes.
That's it.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
That's the difference.
With this team over Seattle.
Right.
I know Seattle's in the NFC, but that's the difference between Baltimore. And
Exactly. I don't have the faith in Baltimore. I don't have the faith in Lamar Jackson. I don't.
I have the faith that, Baltimore's defense can do enough to keep them in the game. But do I have the confidence in Lamar Jackson? No.
No.
Do I have confidence in the wide receivers in Baltimore?
No.
I have a confidence in the tight end? Yes. Do I have confidence in the running game? No.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, I have confidence in their offense as a whole.
Yep.
To come back if they're 10 points down and they need the deep,
Totally agree.
Defense needs you.
Totally agree.
And that's why Chiefs always take it to Baltimore when they play them.
Let's get to the Chiefs because tomorrow, 5 o'clock, doubleheader again. I like these little doubleheader on Monday nights. Yeah, Kansas City at Buffalo. I'll start this one. Listen, I was always never on the bandwagon of Buffalo. And what I saw last week, it's not like they just got manhandled. The Josh Allen MVP train has stopped. Nobody's hearing it. This one's easy for me. Kansas City off a loss, going into Buffalo. Listen, Buffalo better score 40 points because they're going to put up at least 35. Kansas City blows them out.
This was a game that you really needed some fans. If the fans were there, you're looking at a different ballgame.
Yes, okay. Good call.
But good. I love the coach. I love the coach in Buffalo. Sean McDermott's doing a great job there. Again, like you just hit it on the button, an angry Chiefs team beaten up by the Raiders. And going into Buffalo, I wouldn't want to be a Buffalo fan this week, And you know what? I was on that train. I was not on the Buffalo train. I picked New England to win the division until somebody knocks the king off the throne. Mm-hmm. It's like your mayors in your towns, right? Some of those mayors have been mayors for 40 years.
Yep.
Until you knock the mayor off, I'm sticking with the incumbent. So give me the Chiefs in this one.
Okay, you're gonna go Chiefs too.
Yeah, I think that Buffalo's defense is good, but I don't think they're. Again, this is the perfect example. Can Buffalo come back if they're down 10 with their offense? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. The Buffalo and Pittsburgh comparison right there. I don't think Buffalo can.
And
Buffalo needs to be up. Needs to be up.
Yep. And we save this game for last. Monday night, the Monday nighter. Dallas at home against Arizona. I'll take this one fast, Kenny, okay? I'll take this one easy. The Dallas Cowboys are now on their way to easily winning the NFC East division. I said it before and I said it again. Prayers to Dak. The injury's terrible. They're a better team with Andy Dalton. They're going to show it. Okay? He's not going to throw crazy picks. They're not going to have to score 42 points. They're going to run the ball. Run the ball and run the ball. Run the ball, couple boots, take 2 or 3 deep shots with Lamb and Cooper and Gallup, hit the tight end, Schultz over the middle, and run the friggin' rock. Arizona, to me, is like they're another fraud team. Their defense never makes a big play. Never. Okay? They'll be exciting. Hey, we'll score. I watched them versus Carolina. We scored 21. You gave up 31 unanswered. Never can make a play in the game. They were in the game with the Jets last week. I'm sorry. I love the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow night. I'm taking Dallas.
I unfortunately agree with you. And I agree not 100% on the Dak thing, but I agree with you about the Dak thing. I think this team needs to go with their best player.
Wait. Explain that. You know what? I'm gonna put this on Facebook. You just said I don't 100% agree with you on the Dak thing, but I agree with you on the Dak thing. That might be the quote of the day.
Yeah, what I mean by that is, I think the team with Dak Prescott was running the offense around Dak Prescott, who, in my opinion, is not the best. And we get into this argument all the time on our Wednesday show.
Right.
I don't think he's the best on the offense.
Right.
I think the best
Kenny,
player
I'm going to say this.
Best player on that offense is Zeke.
If you remember his rookie year, okay? Remember he came in for Romo, got hurt. That when he went in, they basically, I'm not going to say they made him like a college quarterback, but they did what he did, where they were 70% run, pull it, do a little run, pull it, throw a big ball, play action. Now, like you're saying, the 5 wides, that's not who he is.
No.
He's not. He is perfect for that role, and he was perfect listen, you're a run-first team. If you don't like it, you run. Zone read, run. Hit the back in a flat, take a deep shot. But not to send him back and throw in 50 times. It's why you can't pay him that money. He doesn't. That's not his game. Aaron Rodgers today, you could put him in a 5-wide shotgun, throw the ball all over the field. Brady, Russell Wilson. For Dak, you can't. Andy Dalton, just don't screw it up, Andy. Don't screw it up. No. Just run it, play action, and take shots.
That's it.
And think about this. Think about this, Kenny, right? Because you coached. When you can't stop a run game, it's the most, it's the worst thing you could do as an offensive coordinator. It's the best feeling in the world. As a defense, it's the worst, because what do you got to do? All right, I got to put more guys in the box to stop the run. Now I got CeeDee Lamb and I got Amari and Gallup one-on-one because
against my nickel and dime.
Yeah, exactly. And how are they gonna just run it? It's the worst fit. And then as an offensive play caller, you're like, oh my God, they want to put 9 in the box, play action, boop, one-on-one. And that's what they're going to do with Andy Dalton. They're not going to stand back there and have Andy Dalton throw 50 times in shotgun. It's stupid.
Now,
you got the best back.
Let me ask you a question. Dak or Zeke, who do you think's the better player on? Who's the offense got to run around? Zeke, right?
Zeke, absolutely.
I'm going to name a couple teams. Carolina, who's the best player on their offense?
McCaffrey.
Do they not run the ball around McCaffrey? Pass either flat?
Yeah.
Is he not the focal point on the offense?
Yeah.
Giants.
Barkley.
Got hurt, but isn't he the focal point on the offense?
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. I think, honestly,
You know where I'm going with this.
No, but I'm saying this. I think the Giants last year didn't do that. But this year, I really think by getting Thomas, if they would have had, what's the other guy's name? Soldier. If those guys were, I think, honestly, and Barkley, I think they would have been, not that the Giants couldn't throw the ball, because it's like the old school Patriots, but they'll line up and run the ball 40 times down your throat. And you know what? Why wouldn't you? That's your second round pick. Like Dallas, people Zeke gets touches. Well, he should get touches. You're a 4th round pick. You gave him all this money. Ride that guy, man. Ride him, just like Barkley. All right, now it's a little different. He's got injury, but you took him number 2. You can't give that guy 8 carries. You gave him your number two pick.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Now let's go the other way around. Seattle.
Russell Wilson. It's Russell Wilson's show. It's Russell Wilson's
They're not
show.
running. They run the ball, but they still do the play action. Dak Prescott's not in that league of Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
No.
And even say Drew Brees.
No, they're the only 3 players where I'm going to be honest,
Mahomes.
Mahomes. They're the only guys that honestly, I could just go and say, I don't care. I'm going to say don't care, but those guys with absolutely no defense and no other stars will still get you to a second-round play. Look at Russell Wilson last year. They were 2 plays away from beating Green Bay in the divisional round to get to an NFC championship with nothing. Their defense was terrible. Their offense was all hurt. And Russell Wilson was 1 drive away from getting them to an NFC championship game. Same thing with Mahomes. They had 0 defense the past 2 years. 0. But you know what? He was in an AFC championship game. Aaron Rodgers has shown you years after year. So those 3 guys, it really doesn't matter. Other guys, like I like Drew Lock, right? I like Drew Lock a lot. But to really get anything out of Drew Lock, you better spend your money on your defense and get him playmakers. Now, here's the problem. Drew Lock's getting paid nothing. He's getting paid nothing. He's a second-round pick. The thing is now when he turns around and says, I want $30 million, I got to use Justin Simmons. I got to lose Von Miller. I might lose Chubb. I might lose – you're not better off like that.
No.
You're not. So that's the question where we get to this every week. Same thing with the Giants. Like, the Giants are building. Like, the Giants keep building now. Like, Slayton's a good player, right? If Barkley comes back healthy, Ingram's a nice player. You could draft another rookie if you don't like Sterling Shepard.
Draft a receiver next year.
Right, draft the receiver. But here's the thing. You get all your money now and put that money into a defense, okay? You got, what's his name? Bradbury. You got some nice pieces. Now you spend your money. But if Daniel Jones says, like Beelin says, well, my time's up, so I want my 35. Are you crazy?
See ya. I'll draft a quarterback.
Draft the quarterback. Draft the quarterback.
I agree.
So, I don't know. I'm excited, though. It's going to be a good weekend. Hopefully, some good games. The 4 o'clock games seem a little better, but I'm excited to watch Denver. I'm excited to watch Drew Lock.
Yeah, what's good about the 1 o'clock games that aren't, I'll watch some of the Giants down here to be on. What makes fantasy football exciting is no matter how bad the game is, if you got a guy on that team, you're watching that game, and that's what the red zone is for.
Yeah.
Love me some red zone.
That's it. But other than that, Mr. Kirkpatrick, enjoy your Saturday. Sunday. What am I Saturday?
Sunday, fun day. And tomorrow, some good games tomorrow.
Tomorrow, some good games. And we will, Wednesday night, we'll be back with our normal show.
By the way, I know it's a football show, but what's some exciting baseball?
Yeah. Who wins tonight, Kenny?
Points. I hope the Braves, but I'm seeing the Dodgers. And how about the other series going to 7 games?
Yeah.
So what's the story there?
I'm going to make a statement right now about this National League because Kershaw has been bad, right, in the playoffs. He hasn't come through. I think Kershaw tonight is not going to start. He's going to be like I want to say they're going to start, have their pitcher go 2-3 innings. Kershaw is going to come in and pitch a gem. And all the word of, because you know what? This is, and again, because I bash the Yankees, and I'm going to bash him, and I'm going to bash the Dodgers, because tonight is all or nothing. Another team with a high payroll. You better get by Ian Anderson tonight. I don't care how you got to do it. You better get by him, because if he doesn't, Roberts, gone. Start breaking some of that money up. If Kershaw comes in tonight and flops and gives up a 2-0 lead, blows a lead when he comes in, a lot's on the line for them tonight. It's not just I bash the Yankees. I'm bashing them too. You better win tonight. No excuse. You better win tonight.
Going forward, give me a World Series prediction.
Dodgers are going to win it.
Over.
Well, the Rays got in. The Rays are in. Last night, the Rays won.
Yeah, the Rays, again, Kevin Cash.
I'm going to go Dodgers over Rays.
That was really looking like Astros are going to come back and be the next Reds. We're 4 in a row. They made it close. Give them credit. They came away with the cheating scandal. And they made it all the way.
You know what?
Without Verlander.
Yeah.
Without Cole. Think about that.
Oh, I got to tell you this, Kenny. They gave a little FU to everybody this year. They did.
Yep.
Oh, we're cheating. You know what I'm saying? So
they stuck it to everybody. But kudos to the Rays.
Yep.
It's like a Davy and Goliath if the Dodgers get in.
Yep.
But the Rays are built with that pitching to beat those type of teams. So we'll see.
Pitching, slap hitting, and defense, baby, win championships.
I hope it's Braves against the Rays. And I'm the Rays beat my Yankees, but I am pulling for the Rays. So.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick, we're signing off.
Enjoy your.
I'll be texting you throughout the day, obviously, texting you through the Denver and Giant games, see what's going on.
Good luck with your fantasy teams today.
Yes,
Good luck
sir.
with your Broncos at 1 o'clock. I know you're not used to those 1 o'clock games.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you later on.
Oh, and real quick, tomorrow night we're doing a little gambling stream on Carson's Ticket Time YouTube channel. There's going to be a couple Amazon gift cards given away in our name. Go over there. All you got to do is subscribe to his channel, and you'll have a chance to win those $25 gift cards.
Okay. Sounds good, my friend. Sounds good.
You all have a good night.
I'll see you later. Good day, not good night. Good day.
Good day, and see you Wednesday.